So where did the money go?
I love to give a background to things so that the context will be well understood. In school also, I started looking at the foreign exchange market, and so I'll just get to sleep for like 3 to 4 hours, and then I'm back up again, because I know I must deliver on all of this. At some point it will get so bad, my body will be shaking, and I'll be shaking because I deprived myself of sleep. But all of this just made me have confidence in things I can do. So my mind was not money. My mind was just to get the skill, and to come out of the lockdown a better person. So the whole point really, it has taught me just to keep at it. As Yoruba would say, Yano Ashele.
Hi, and welcome back again to another episode of the Engineering Couple Podcast. We're back again interviewing Mr. Timothy, my husband, and asking the question, where did the money go?
The question.
Yes. So we're picking it up from the last episode, and if you have not watched it, please go back and watch the last episode, because this is going to be a continuation. And please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We would like these are videos to reach more people.
Please.
So share. We would like to share to your
line, please.
So share to your friends, family, your foes, anybody that you would love to hear this.
Your enemies.
Yeah, your enemies. So let's pick it up from.
You shouldn't have one really, but that's life.
Yeah. So from last episode, we're talking about like your career journey, and then we stopped around the NYSC period.
Yep.
So I asked him the question like, what happened during the lockdown? Were you still working at ABO show, or what happened? So where did the money go?
So let's start with during
the money went.
Yeah. I love to give a background to things so that the context will be well understood. So the very first thing that happened was during the lockdown, the whole world was thrown into chaos and
confusion,
fear. And so the first thing that came on my heart was to ensure I use that period to get good at some things. Also thanks to my pastor, Pastor Christian Gonoinka, who also gave us a marching order to not allow fear take over, and also to learn, add a skill
put the time to use,
yes, to put the time to good use. So eventually, so as I said, I already started doing some graphics design. I mean, just
Canva.
Yeah, Canva. And I felt, okay, let me just take this a bit. Just take it a step up. But before I did that, for our startup, which we should talk about in next week. For our startup, we had the need to do some, then when we have trainings, we had to do video, video adverts where we use this, I've forgotten.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this hands writing.
Like, what do they call it? Illustrations or something.
I don't, but it's just like an illustration that for a movie, for an advert.
Advert, yeah.
And so I felt, okay, how can I make it better? So I went to Premiere Pro. Mm-hmm. So I started with Premiere Pro, trying to learn the app. Everywhere you go, they say Adobe Premiere Pro is the in thing and all of that. So I said, okay, let's do this. I started with Premiere Pro. When you're using Premiere Pro, I cannot forget Daniel Scott. He was the one.
You bring your own laptop.
BYOL. Shout out to you, sir. I'm gonna try to tag you on this. I think we were in Nigeria then, and I won one of the the quiz he did. But now I think we should be closer. So I'll find a way to reach
No, I think he's in Ireland.
Yeah. It's not in the United States, but I think we're closer. So fast forward to that. So I started with his course of Premiere Pro. From there, just a YouTube course. That was where I think I became more crazy about YouTube. Premiere Pro, then I went to After Effects. Because when you're learning Premiere Pro, they tell you After Effects. When you're using After Effects and Premiere Pro, they tell you After Effects will lead you to Adobe Illustrator. Then Premiere Pro
so
lead
it was
to
like
Photoshop.
It was like a path.
Yeah, it was like a path.
Yeah.
Then don't forget that I already had that, little design from Canva, little design experience. So when when Premiere Pro and the guys were saying, okay, let's go to Illustrator and all of that, I said, okay, that's a good way to learn how to use it for video editing, and then also probably use it to do graphics. Again, this, as an engineering graduate, come on, you don't need to be a first class guy, you feel you don't need to. But so I picked up the challenge, and so eventually it drifted away. When I got into Illustrator and Photoshop, I started doing flyers and all of that. And then I think I dropped the Premiere Pro a bit. So I got I got better at my flyer game, designing flyers, designing logos. From there, then, still on lockdown, took it a bit further to Adobe. I think it would be Adobe XD, and eventually got to Adobe Dimensions and many other. I think as at that point I just took YouTube courses on different Adobe products. I think I wanted to be good in all, even Dreamweaver, which was meant
I think I remember,
meant to be a coding aspect of Adobe. But all of those was so I just started learning things, and I think I got bit of one or two on how to use all of these tools. Then eventually, I had a lecture. In school also. I started looking at the foreign exchange market. Eventually, since there was now time, I felt, okay, this is the time to learn it. And I started learning the foreign exchange. And so that was where my money was going to. I started looking for a way to invest money, and then my money went into it. So let me ask more questions so I don't talk too much. Yeah.
Yeah. So after NYSC, the lockdown happened, you learned skills. So did those skills actually cause you to deviate your plans? Did you have a post NYSC plan? Okay, I think you mentioned it last episode, you wanted to build your company.
Yeah.
But learning all those skills, did you make money at the time with those skills? Number one. And then number two, did those skills deviate your career path?
So to be sincere, I must give a background, because at that point in time, I was not too cumbersome about making money, because we're getting paid by the NYSC.
Oh.
And I think I was also my
PPA.
Yeah, the PPA where I was working. They were also paying
PPA.
us.
For those that don't know what PPA means, PPA is place of primary assignment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were also paying us some money. I think yes, I must give credit to them. They did not reduce the fee. They were paying us the same salary we were getting.
Even during the lockdown.
Yeah, even during the lockdown. So, so money was not. The whole idea is I was not thinking about money. Money was not. So I felt like, okay, this is the time I have. And I think there was pretty much good electricity at that time. So we were getting a roster of electricity. How they were doing it, I didn't know, but I know it was just good. And so my mind was not money. My mind was just to get the skill,
okay,
and to come out of the lockdown. If there was going to be coming out, but to come out of the lockdown a better person.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the whole idea. So the skill I also had to work on, which I had to I took it, whole that took the money, was the foreign exchange skill. So that was when I started learning forex, and not started learning, but that was when I put my whole heart to it. Where I had a conversation with a friend, and so it was like, oh, so again, underneath all of this, I must confess that it's something I was looking to make an ends meet. I think the plan was when I was done with NYSC, I was looking for a way to sustain myself so that I can also face building the startup to what I felt was going to be, and then I would at least be making money from these other skills I had side by side, again, because I was not planning to work. So that was, I think that was it for me. But so that's how I picked up the foreign exchange, the forex skill, and it's been a journey, really.
Yeah, I think he has some videos. He's very good. He's just trying to be humble. So he has some videos, even on our channel. So if you scroll through, I think there's a forex.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's not too. I think he wants to revise the
Yeah, I think so. What I'm going to be doing, just to give a bit of a promo of that, is on the channel, I'll be speaking about the trades I take weekly, or the way, the approach I have towards the market. That's the next line of action.
So this is jack of all. Yeah, from one of our episodes. Yeah.
No, I'm not a jack of all trades.
No,
really.
I'm just.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
But I just have, I just want to, I just had things I learned then, of which I think I'm better at. Because my second job really was a design job. And I mean, graphics design job. That was the second job I had, my very second formal
Was
job.
it like a 9 to 5 or?
Yes, because obviously we're just coming from the lockdown, so they were a bit relaxed. So sometimes they could call us in, but really it was really remote.
Okay.
And so when I got the offer, I was so happy. I mean, I was like, oh, finally.
So how did you get it? Was it like submitted your CV or something?
Okay, so the first thing I would say about such jobs, especially when it's skill based, is that they did not even, my CV was inconsequential. I think the very first thing was they wanted to know if I could perform, as you just said.
Yeah.
So, and the way I learned the graphics design, I had already seen a lot of videos online saying you must get a portfolio running. So I had a lot of designs I did. I mean, when you're just doing designs and you don't even know if you're going to make money. I think I did a logo for every day. Then I had a ton of logos.
Yeah.
I just had it everywhere. And
I think if I can remember, you, even before like post NYSC, you used to do you did some designs for like friends. It's not like.
Sure.
Yeah. So
I took a lot of free.
Yeah.
During the lockdown, after the lockdown, I took a lot of free designs. I think that's the way I approach things really. The same thing too with my photograph, my just a recent skill I'm working on, which is photography. Just doing free work for people, trying to use that to build my own portfolio. Yeah, I did a lot of free designs, a lot. And so when the opportunity came, it was a sister in church for Statolani. I think she's. I'll try to send this to her because so she, through her husband, I must say, he was really instrumental. We met at a program, so that was how I got speaking with him, and he was like, oh, he has been seeing my status. Then I used to post, and that's why I got a lot of critics saying, oh, how come you're just jumping from skill to skill?
Mechanical engineering then.
Yeah. Then mechanical engineering, we also had a lot of ANSYS, Autodesk Inventor. We're rendering 3D. We also used that time to get our skills because that was the time I wrote some of the papers I published that helped with my PhD application.
Okay.
And so, but the whole essence is I got ready for that opportunity. I had gotten.
So it's not as if you just fell on your lap.
Oh no. Though obviously the connection came in one way or the other.
Yeah, but it's not like your uncle, your daddy.
Oh no. It's someone who just saw all he did was he saw my status, and then I was always up.
Okay, so he saw like what you are doing.
Yes,
and that was
because I'm always updating. Like when I'm done with a design, I'll just post it. When I do anything, I was gonna post it then because I just wanted people to see what I was doing. And so when he gave me the recommendation, I must confess I was scared. Though I think I told them I had experience, which I might not really have as much as I said. But I was scared at some point. But I just took up the challenge and started. And I worked for the company. Yeah, my pay was pretty decent. I was earning somewhat over 100K. So as a designer then in Lagos, I mean that's quite enough. You're from home, working from home. But the whole thing was, I think I was prepared. I remember when they asked for the videos I can edit, I sent them a YouTube link of some of the unlisted videos I had. So
I think that time we did that BYL challenge.
Exactly.
So we had that video too.
Yeah. So
I think it's still on our website.
It's still there. The BYL challenge.
Oh, sorry, on our channel. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of those things I was waiting for the opportunity, and when it came, it just met like someone prepared.
Yeah.
So I started working with them.
So it's not as if you wanted to go in venture as a graphic designer.
No.
It's just,
I mean, when I finished school, if you had asked me, would you do graphics design? I'll say no.
Yeah.
I would really say no. Like many of the things I do today, anytime we speak and I tell her that many of the things we are doing now, except probably for the PhD, it's not something that you would have asked me some years ago and I'll say yes to. So, and that's why I said when we had the discussion on what did I learn from OAU, I think it's the ability to focus on something, try to get the best out of it. So when I got to Genie Insurance, I worked with them. I think we had an interview, obviously to talking will be a problem. She didn't have to talk. We go talk now. So, convinced the boss then, and then we started the job. And, I think I left at some point, but that was because I wanted to focus on, getting a graduate opportunity, which I currently am doing now. Yeah.
Okay. So like after I'm just trying to like recap. So after your NYSC, you learned some skills. The skills helped you to get this job, which you eventually had to leave so you could focus on your So in all these jobs that you've done, freelancing or like 9 to 5, like what would you say you have learned like from your NYSC time up till
so now?
Up to now.
Okay. Let me sound formal. Thank you for that question. But really, from the first job to now, is the ability to be able to think out of the box, and that is why even for those we are trying to work with in our production team, I really don't like it when people wait for the prompts, like wait for you to give all of the prompts. I feel you should just sit back, try to think and bring out something, then we could work with it. So it's the ability to think. You just have to think on the spot. Also, one other thing is the ability to rest when the job is done. Really, which that is more of a mindset thing, where you just don't sleep, you focus sometimes. I mean, during the lockdown, sometimes then my mom, she would look at me and then she would say, what's going on? Because I had to do some of the jobs during the day for my company then. I also had I was speaking with my PI, my supervisor, because we're trying to publish a paper at that point. So I was doing that. Then I would be trying to learn a skill because we had to push, our designs and all of that to push our brand at that point. And so sometimes probably I'll just get sleep. I'll get to sleep for about 3 hours. And then we also had spiritual activities that we had to do. And so I'll just get to sleep for like 3 to 4 hours. And then I'm back up again, because I know I must deliver on all of this. At some point it will get so bad, my body will be shaking and I'll be shaking because, I deprived myself of sleep. So, but all of this just, again, it's also, made me have confidence in things I can do. Because, when I stopped that job after my NYSC, which was just after the COVID, it looked like, okay, I'm ready to take up the challenge. I had some skills then. So then I think I was also open to doing remote jobs.
Okay.
So it was just that 9 to 5 because I felt...
Don't be trapped.
Exactly. And if I'm going from 9 to 5, I mean, the whole day is done. My conscience would judge me if I'm there and all I'm doing is designs and all of that. So when I'm done, I'll probably, after the whole day, you just go home. You're just trying to sleep, trying to get your clothes ready for tomorrow. Again, with Lagos traffic, sometimes we get home around 12 a.m. And then by 4, I remember then, by 4:30, I would have left. So it was really not something that was palatable for me. If in case the company was close to my house, probably I would have considered it. But again, man, you can't live in that area. It's the industrial area in Alo-Fusion. So the whole point really, it has taught me how to just to keep at it. Just keep at it. As Yoruba would say, Iyanu Ashele. Like something good will eventually come out. When I was doing
just keep working, just keep pushing. Yeah.
When I was doing all of those designs, I did not envisage that I was going to get that company. All I was thinking about getting was probably the skill or also to work online.
Okay.
Yeah, probably to get a Fiverr job and all of that. And I think I never, okay, no, I got a job on Fiverr. Yeah, I did. I got a job on Fiverr, like 2 jobs. I did like a video editing and some. I did like 2 jobs then, and I got some dollars, but it wasn't really what I wanted because there was no. It's not definite, so it's just based on vibes and all of that. So just to sum it up, I think the whole thing I learned is to to be resilient, to know that you can actually put your mind towards something and also get it running. So after the foreign exchange skill, I think I've been pretty stuck on it. That's one skill that has made me.
Okay, so
let me breathe in.
Yeah. So, but I have one question.
Okay.
So, usually sometimes like when we share our experiences, and especially because we have some gaps, like some months that we're not like actively working, and some people might think that maybe you have some sort of privilege, maybe you don't have that much responsibility, or maybe just have like a financial backing. Like some people argue that they have to work, even in, for example, in a job that they don't see themselves in for like long term, but they still feel like they are almost stuck there because maybe they have financial responsibilities, maybe they have a family, or they have to send money back home and they feel like they can't leave.
Yeah.
So like, do you think you had those privileges or you just braved it out?
I think if I'll be sincere, at the point when I was done working, I think, yes, I tell people a lot that please don't always understand people before you take some decisions. Because when I finished my NYSC, I think I was jobless for 2 months. And so what I did was I went to take a loan. The source of the loan, I will not disclose it here. But I took a loan, and part of the loan in itself was for me to trade the foreign exchange and get some profits. Yeah, I took a loan. Shout out to Daniel Omoyeni Danijas. We did that, that crazy move together, and I'm intentionally sent this to him. We did that crazy move together, and then it almost burnt our fingers. It's a fire that we almost got burned. But not just I took 2. That means he took the loan. He brought it for me to trade. Then I also took another loan, which was about,
I think even access to loans, I think it's a privilege too, if you look at it.
Yeah, it's a privilege really, because it was about $2,500 then. And so I just took it, and then the intention was to use it to trade and make money, and then return profits, and then keep some for ourselves. But eventually, because Shapa came, Shapa and the big belly and came and was knocking on the door, and so I had to take some money out of it. So eventually, when I started trading, I thank God for the resources I had on YouTube, because I had a lot of resources. I cannot forget my first 3 days of trading. I finished about 2 courses. Then we had to go to church, and then sometimes spend a lot of hours in the bus. And then I cannot forget in the buzzy nature in Lagos and the shout and all of that. I would just be in the bus and I'm watching the video and I'm taking notes, and and then we had to go. And so the whole learning part of the skill taught me to be very patient. So that way I could not blow the money I got. I just knew that. So when I started trading, I had some wins. I changed strategy. These are all forex terms. Changed strategy, and I did a lot of different things. And eventually, it did not work out as we planned. So we began to lose money. I cannot forget. So because the loan I took was precious to me, so I just took the remaining. I think I had lost about 20% of the money. So I just took 80%.
Returned it.
As in 20% of the money, and plus the fact that I spent some to keep myself running. I mean, $2,500 then was in millions of naira. So I just took some percentage of the money. I spent some of it. Then I had to go and return 80% to the person, and I said, please, I'm going to pay you this back. And the person was quite understanding, because I said, okay, I explained another plan I had that was going to have there's this new part in Forex where you get some funds from. So I just explained to the person that, see, I'm going to make it back and I'll give it to you. So I think Daniel, that's Daniel Jazz. The loan he took, we gave another person to help us trade with it to get some money. And it ended. We shall escaped.
Okay.
But
not escaped, not like you ran away with the money.
No, sorry. I meant we escaped the wrath of losing the money. For one way we could pay back, and then we're here today. But back to your question, did I get? I would say I was privileged to have access to the loans. But if I want to advise someone now who might not have as much privilege as I had then, I would advise them to probably stay some time at, just like what you also did, at the 9 to 5, and gather some money that can sustain them for a while. Yeah. So at around January, February, when I now got the offer for the remote job, it was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Like, that was just finally, I'm here. So that's why I could take the opportunity. But today, sometimes I sit back, and at that time we had started some of our trainings, so I think I was getting some side money from all of that. But sometimes I sit back and I'll say, I just took some bold steps. How did I envisage it might burn me? I don't know. I was just resolute.
Just had hope.
I just had hope, and I took those steps, and eventually it worked out. Yeah.
Okay. So I think you've already touched on the last question I was going to ask, what advice will you give just a brief advice, like a fresh graduate, he's after NYSC, you're looking what do I do? Yeah.
Okay, I will start again, and I like to give a wholesome explanation so that nothing is you're not taken unawares. I think the very first thing to do is know what you want to do. Especially if you have, again, there was something in my heart that I would say that I know I had somewhere a little leverage, that if I was pushed to the wall with all my plans, then I would just go and get a job, which I know that, okay, I could always just dust my CV and, look for, even if it is just a job of 80 to 100,000, I would just, apply somewhere. And get it, because I remember then we had an interview with Zenith Bank. I know I had.
We had 2 interviews.
Yes.
So we went for one where was it?
It was in Ikeja.
Airpiece.
Airpiece.
Okay, we had Airpiece. Then we had this other one at where's that place? Nigerian ports. Close to Nigerian ports.
Oh, yeah. Did I? No, I escorted you.
No, we went together.
I escorted.
Was it at the time we met David Aluko?
Yeah, do you remember I didn't enter that day? At the port, I did not.
Oh, yeah, you followed me. Okay,
yeah, I escorted you. Because I remember I came, I had to sit outside that day. So I escorted you.
That was understood. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I think I also had an interview with Zenith Bank.
Okay.
But I think I forgot. I mean, it was the day of the interview that someone was like, "Oh, did you not apply?" I said, "Oh, I'd forgotten." So, but somewhere in my heart,
we didn't really put all our minor job, because I think we had other things going for us.
Yes. Yeah,
so would you advise someone to have other things you can rely on? So you're not totally dependent on maybe a 9 to 5 or totally dependent on one source.
I would say
it's tricky.
If you have it's tricky, very tricky question, very, very tricky. If you have I knew that, as I said, I knew that there would be something. I just knew that there's something I can do. So I know that and again, I think I was privileged to be raised by a mom that I don't denigrate any form of jobs. So what's come to the worst, I
you
could
need
just,
to frack around.
Exactly. I could be a salesman.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I mean, I could, I think I did some gigs like that where just for some extra cash, probably I'll follow my friend, probably because I also play the keyboard. So, and then just get, so I did not have that picky nature that, I have a first class and
cannot do.
So yeah.
Okay, I think that's another thing. Some people think that first class graduates, we feel like we are too proud to do any other thing.
I really should not be proud. I mean, you're just a human, and you are privileged to have read and then you got it. So it's not something that should make you now denigrate. I don't denigrate any job. I used to say it, and I think I'll say that here again. I'm not wishing the worst thing for myself, but I have this ideology towards life that if today I lose all I have and I have to go back to the streets to start again, all I just need to do is to get probably between 50 to 100 naira. She's here. So I'm not saying this because of now. So you not say, oh, it's because it's dead. No. I've been saying this even when I was in Nigeria, that I'll just get 100 naira and then start selling pure water. I'll just start gathering the money. It's going to be a very tough start, but I know that eventually that's the ideology I have. So there's no job. The whole point is that there's no job too small.
For as long as it's an honest means of living.
Exactly. Yeah, because yes, at some point too, I think it's worthy to know because of influence, and I think at that time the internet fraud started gaining traction. So at some point I was like, God, I should not learn this skill.
The skill.
Because people try to make it to look like a skill. So I was like, we shall not go learn this one, but eventually,
I think so. People also maybe they see, especially when I put on LinkedIn, they'll just look at you as if you've had everything all figured out. Mm-hmm. But actually, no. I think we figure things out as we keep going.
Yes.
Because I think there was a time too, even this freelancing, there was I didn't have any jobs at that time, mm-hmm. and someone chatted me up I think it was freelancer.com, and he was like, he's going to pay me to almost be like an escort. An escort is I'll be sexting him,
wow.
texting him pictures of myself, mm-hmm. and it's just sexual things. No,
I never knew.
Didn't I tell you?
Hey,
really?
Jesus.
I told you.
I'm hearing this on the podcast. Maybe I forgot. Let me hope I forgot.
No, I think I did tell you. And then I got an offer too. The guy was asking me to write. I think he has a company, mm-hmm. or whatever in Nigeria, and he sells sex toys. And it was he needed a writer for sex toys.
Wow. Oh, you said that.
Okay, I told you that one. Okay, so I was like, I said, my conscience. I'm sorry. I'm too much of a Christian to do this. I can't do it. So even though, so it's not as if maybe our paths have been devoid of temptations, maybe we've not had some of these things thrown at us. But
I knew who Iloda was. I started looking at so
Zelle,
Cash App, all of those things. Now I have those things now.
It's not for scamming.
But not for scamming, obviously.
Yeah, so we've had all these rough times, we had good times, we had bad times, but I think it's just staying resilient and keeping something in the back of your mind that honest work alone.
Exactly. Just honest work alone, and just knowing that it will always work out.
Yeah, something's going to work out.
I'm always that resolute that something will just work out. Again, I'm not doing this and then sleeping on my own.
Yeah.
I try to work. I try my best. I might not be the best, but I try my best, And that's why I say always understand the context for you.
Yes.
Even if you don't have a first class. This is not for first class students alone. But even if you don't have a first class, if you don't have a first class, it's not really, it should not be the end of the world. You should also look at other things. I think the thing is, no job should be too
no honest job.
Yeah, no honest job. Sorry.
Keep that in mind.
Honest, yeah, very honest. You shouldn't feel you are bigger than it.
Yeah.
Because the plumbers and the carpenters and all of those guys, they are making a lot of money.
Yeah, making a whole lot. In fact, there was a time, sorry for...
Yeah, please go on.
So there was a time in my NYSC.
Yeah.
So I was part of the committee. I was part of the one of the committee members. I think I was the treasurer. Mm-hmm. So, and we were supposed to do a community project.
Yep.
And we got a quote from one of the carpenters. We were supposed to renovate his school, a primary school. So we got a quote from a carpenter. I was like, what? I think that time I started considering carpentry business because I was like, if this is what they are making on just one project and it's not going to take them a month to complete, exactly. I was like, wow.
Yeah, they make a lot of money.
Yes.
So really, just to close on this, I think that's our job. That's been our
path.
Yeah, our path. That it's inexhaustive because there are some things we might have forgotten, but I think it will help you to see, both for just as a fresh graduate, that it might not always be clear, but just keep at it. If you have some opportunities or if you have reasons why you do things, leverage. Thank you. just let people know what you are saying. Don't, sometimes people just sugarcoat things in the name of testimonies to say, oh, I did not know this happened. Come on, come off it, bro. There are some reasons why we didn't do some things.
Yes.
And that's why we are doing this. So you don't hear, oh, he never took a job. Oh, there was a reason why.
Yes.
And that's why we're here together again.
Okay, thank you for joining us on this episode. I think this was a really insightful one. And I hope you learned something.
Yep.
Please, again, like, share, subscribe. And
then join us next week.
Next week.
Yeah, I want to see you guys. Yes. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.